Hello friends, welcome to Daring Marana YouTube channel. Today we will be discussing about SOLAS regulation for fire detection system. So let's discuss about this topic in detail. So the fixed fire detection and fire alarm system should have a manually operated call points, and this should be capable of immediate operation, and this not to be used for any other purpose except that closing of fire door. Okay. Then suitably designed to withstand supply voltage and variation and transients, ambient temperature changes, vibration, humidity, shock, impact and corrosion normally encountered in ship. Fixed fire detection and fire alarm system should have manually operated call points, and this shall be capable of immediate operation, shall not be used for any other purpose except the closing of fire door, and suitably designed to withstand supply voltage, variation and transients, ambient temperature changes, vibration, humidity, shock, impact and corrosion normally encountered in ship. Okay. And this capacity to ensure that any fault occurring in the loop will not render the whole loop ineffective. We have said capacity to ensure that any fault occurring in the loop will not render the whole loop ineffective. Capable of restoring initial configuration in case of power failure. They should be capable of restoring initial configuration in case of power failure. No loop shall pass through the same space twice time. So we have to ensure that no loop shall pass through the same space twice, and they should have two power sources. We have to ensure that they should have two power sources. Suitable instruction and component spares for testing and maintenance shall be provided. There should be suitable instructions and component spares should be there for testing, maintenance shall be provided. And heat detector, the maximum floor area per conductor is 37 meters square. For maximum floor area plus detector is 37 meters square. Maximum distance apart between center is 9 meter. Maximum distance apart between center is 9 meter. Maximum distance away from bulkhead is 4.5 meter. Maximum distance away from bulkhead is 4.5 meter. At smoke detector, their maximum floor area per detector is 74 meter square. Maximum floor area per detector is 74 meter square. Maximum distance apart from sector should be 11 meter. Maximum distance apart from center should be 11 meter. Maximum distance away from bulkhead should be 5.5 meter. Maximum distance away from bulkhead is equal to 5.5 meter. Okay. This is what about smoke detector and heat detector. Okay. Spacing. And let's discuss about smoke detectors of marine ship. So details, let's discuss about them. Smoke detectors, these are devices which senses smoke and give signal to a fire control panel. So smoke detector, they will detect smoke, they will sense smoke and give signal to fire control panel. Two types of smoke detectors are there: photoelectric detectors and ionization detectors. Photoelectric detectors, here we can see there is light source, lens will be there, and light beam, reflection light and alarm, photocell, lens, smoke detector, then light catcher. So the optical smoke or photoelectric type smoke, this type of detector use light source to detect smoke. This optical smoke or photoelectric smoke, this type of detector use light source to detect smoke. The infrared LED is a lens that shoots a beam over a large area. Infrared LED is a lens that shoots a beam over a large area. If a smoke is present in the room, it enters the optical chamber having smoke particles scatter and sensor sets of the alarm. If smoke is present in the room, it enters the optical chamber, they will have a smoke particle scatter and sensor sets of alarm. In very large area where smoke detector is placed, there are two optical detectors that send straight line of infrared beam from a sender to receiver. In very large area where smoke detector is placed, there are two optical detectors that will send straight line of infrared beam from sender to receiver. Optical smoke detector, these are very less sensitive to false alarm fire, such as minor smoke from a candle, cooking, steam, etc. Optical smoke detectors are less sensitive to false alarm, such as minor smoke from candles, cooking, steam, etc. Okay. If the smoke is present in a room, it enters the optical chamber, then having smoke particles scatter and sensors sets the alarm. In a very large area where smoke detector is placed, there are two optical detectors that send a straight line of infrared beam from a sender to receiver. Optical smoke detectors, these are less sensitive to false alarm fire, such as minor strike from candles, cooking, steam, etc. Ionization detector. This ionization detector is another type of smoke detector. Here they will detect smoke even it is too small or to naked eye. So very minute, even the small fire, that is even difficult, it will get detected. It is the best and cheap alternate for photoelectric detector. Through alpha radiation, the ionization smoke detector passes through air-filled space container allowing flow filters. Here through alpha radiation technique, the ionization smoke detector passes through air-filled space container, allowing the flow of electron. However, if any smoke gets inside the chamber and absorbs alpha particle, it lowers the level of ionization, hurting the flow of electrons, thus setting off the alarm. Here, if any smoke gets inside the chamber and absorbs alpha particle, it lowers the level of ionization, hurting the flow of electrons, thus setting off the alarm. More commonly placed in accommodation area. Okay, let's discuss about heat detectors. Heat detectors that is used on marine ship. How heat detector work? Okay, heat detector work by measuring temperature range. This work by measuring temperature range. If temperature increases beyond particular range, this will give alarm. Commonly, two types of heat detectors are used: fixed type heat detector and rate of rise heat detector. Two types of heat detector are there: fixed type heat detector, rate of rise heat detector. Fixed type heat detector, as the name indicates, this type of detector operates when ambient temperature increases sufficiently to predetermined level where the heat detector will operate. Here from the name we can say fixed type heat detector. This will operate when the ambient temperature increases sufficiently to predetermined level when the heat detector will operate. Here rate of rise of heat detector, another type. Here in this type rate of rise heat detector, it will operate when ambient temperature increase over time equal to or greater than rate of change of detector was manufactured to operate. Here it will operate when ambient temperature increase over time equal to or greater than rate of change of detector was manufactured to operate. Most common type of heat detector is fusible link electromechanical heat detector. Fusible link electromechanical type heat detector. An euclitic alloy is a mixture of two or more metal whose melting point is at lower temperature than individual metal. Here eutectic alloy, it is a mixture of two or more metal whose melting point is lower temperature than individual metal. When the ambient temperature increases to eutectic temperature, the alloy changes state from solid to liquid like a solder. Here when the ambient temperature increases from the eutectic temperature, then here the alloy will change state from solid to liquid like a solder. So this enables a spring held under pressure to release and make electrical circuit to actuate alarm. So due to this will enable spring that is held under the pressure to release and make an electrical circuit to actuate an alarm. Both fixed type heat detector and rate of rise heat detector are working under this principle. This both fixed type heat detector and rate of rise heat detector, these are working under the principle of fusible link electromechanic heat detector. Here means an eutectic alloy is a mixture of two or more metal. This melting point is lower temperature than individual metal. So when the ambient temperature increases this eutectic temperature, then the solid will convert to liquid like a solder. So this enables spring under the pressure to release and make electrical circuit to actuate an alarm. Okay, then types of flame detector. So discuss about flame detector used in marine ship. A flame detector is a sensor designed to detect and respond to presence of flame or fire. Flame detector is a sensor designed to detect and respond to presence of flame or fire. It responds faster and more accurately than smoke or heat detector. So this will respond very faster and more accurately than smoke and heat detector. There are two types of flame detector based on working principle: infrared and ultraviolet flame detector. Infrared and ultraviolet flame detector. Okay. Infrared type flame detector. This consists of lens, photoelectric cell and amplifier. Infrared flame detector. This consists of lens, photoelectric cell and amplifier. When there is a fire, lens coverage converts all the radiation to photoelectric cell, which transmits signal to amplifier, and amplified signal goes to trigger the alarm. Okay, when there is fire lens coverage of all radiation to photoelectric cell, they which will transmit signal to amplifier, and this amplified signal goes to trigger the alarm. Ultraviolet flame detector. This consists of gas filled tube sensitive to ultraviolet radiation, amplifier and relay. This consists of gas filled tube sensitive to ultraviolet radiation, amplifier and relay. When the ultraviolet radiation strikes a gas filled tube, it ionizes the gas and generates a small current in the electrode of the gas filled tube. When the ultraviolet radiation strikes a gas filled tube, it ionizes the gas and generates small current in the electrode of the gas filled tube. Amplifier amplifies these small current and send them to relay connector. This amplifier will amplify these small current and send them to relay connector. Relay get activated when the current goes beyond set value and raise the alarm. The relay will get activated when the current goes beyond set value, and this will raise the alarm. Okay. Ultraviolet flame detector means it consists of gas filled tube sensitive to ultraviolet radiation, amplifier and relay. When ultraviolet radiation strikes a gas filled tube, it will get ionized the gas and generate small current in the electrode of the gas filled tube. Amplifier amplifies these small current and send them to relay connector. The relay get activated when the current goes beyond the set value, and this will raise an alarm. Thank you.